Are back here with the second half of episode 8. Just a reminder, the next episode, I'm going to have to figure out whether I want it in the same playlist or not. Either way, it'll be around.
Probably a different playlist.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's the I Love Law
because
episode.
it's only going to happen when one of us is missing.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of like, I feel it can sort of be like that thing that happens in some animes, which is like all of a sudden you're
A
halfway
filler
through it.
episode?
Well, no, different than that, because there's some animes that do this thing where like you're like 5 episodes deep and all of a sudden you're dealing with a whole different like cast of characters like for one episode and you're like, what the fuck just happened? And then it happens again. And then like later on the two storylines meet. But like that
300 years later.
but the idea that it's sort of like the same series but different. I think Samurai Champloo does it like once or twice, and then like maybe there's a.
Tell me to watch that.
You should. It's great.
I would like it because I really liked Cowboy Bebop.
Samurai Champloo is definitely better than Cowboy Bebop for sure.
I never finished Cowboy Bebop, and I
Cowboy
love
Bebop is not that good.
I used to have a
Cowboy
Samurai
Bebop.
Champloo wallet. It was the
Samurai
best.
Champloo is not that good.
It was.
Samurai Champloo is pretty good.
I feel like I feel like this is a slippery slope.
Yeah, it is.
This is a slippery slope of anime.
I'm going to slide down the animation. Just Chet, remind us after the show that we have to talk about anime.
So, the vote this week is which character took what they could get and gave nothing back. So keep that in mind for the rest of the episode.
Wow.
As we know, that is the pirate code from Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Take what you can, give nothing back.
Yeah.
That's me slamming the drink mug down on the table.
Yar, har, har.
Which of us is the best pirate? Yeah.
Yar har fiddly dee.
I could be a pretty good pirate.
So let's talk about
good business.
Let's talk about advancements during the long break.
Yep.
What is everybody
spending-
taking, and how much are they spending?
I'm spending 5 to increase my charm by 1.
Okay.
And I know we don't have to, but I'm flavoring that in the game as Valette is like she's doing the thing like where it's like, okay, personally I'm doing really shitty, so I'm just gonna broadcast that everything is fine.
Oh yeah, like that thing that people do. No, I get that.
Like the whole thing, like, oh, I had no idea he was depressed. He seems so fine. He was talking to everybody. Like,
yep. Not that I
Exactly.
know anything personally about that particular situation, but yeah, I get that.
okay,
I understand where you're
and that
coming
costs
from.
5. And I am also making a note that I am not removing any of my burdens.
Really? You're going to intentionally keep them?
Indeed.
All right. I have a thing for that we'll do
Flashbacks to
after the
night
next
terrors,
scene. Vyse, what kind of advancements are we looking at there?
I am spending 5 advancement to increase my physique by 1 because Vyse has grown a little more backbone in this session.
I see. So is it more that he's more confident in his physicality, or is he literally like seeing Chadwick and he's working out?
It's like more like he's standing up straight now, instead of sitting over.
Oh boy,
he has better posture, and I was like, holy crap,
He's
Here's-
conducting himself like more like fully and confidently.
we got that Erosaito Fanart right there.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm also
God, I mean, I deserve it.
Old Thunder Fist there.
yeah.
Falco.
I love. Is that a tooth that's flying out? I can see the blood, but
That's a Shoryuken right there.
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I love the attention to detail that she still has the arm scars too. Like
Yeah.
even with this level of drawing.
Holy shit.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's like the
Correct.
detail, if that's just sketch lines, but
No, I think because it's also on the second arm as well. It's on the left arm.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm also going to use the long breather to get rid of my withdrawal serious burden.
Okay, cool. Diedrich, let's talk about you.
so I'm
After you get done having, let's just say canonically, you and Evelyn have a couple sparring matches where you aren't burning physique and she fucking wrecks you.
Is that how we make up?
I mean, make up insofar as she's used to being treated as a noble and now she's not, and then you were kind of like, I'm a noble, you have to do what I say. And she's like, no.
Well, and then I followed that with, look, I understand. Like, it was a tense moment. I'm sorry I did that. Do you want to punch it out? And I let her beat the shit out of me.
Okay.
All right. And,
Sure.
And because I'm like the only noble in the entire world who would get hit by someone who's not a noble and not like send them off to the Canton of Inquisition to work the rest of their lives in the mines. Yeah.
I mean, she just considers it a sparring match where she's just teaching you some self-defense moves by
Yeah.
smashing your
Exactly.
face into a wall a couple times. You know, so it never happens again.
So
I'm glad that
Arthur-
we have another character on the show going full Dragon Ball Z.
She uses
Arthur,
Kaioken, of course.
Yeah,
um,
Kaioken times 5.
I'm gonna leave this up to you, Arthur.
Yep.
The catalyst for this change is my father's increased trust in me. I would prefer to increase my resources from 3 to 4, but
Okay.
if that's not really justified by that, I will increase my influence from 3 to 4. So really no difference.
I'm confused again.
You're confused?
Yeah, well,
So
is it just that you're increasing your influence?
so I would prefer to increase my resources.
Okay, that's something you can do. There's nothing
But
stopping you.
If you don't feel that's as narratively justified, I will go with influence.
I mean, during the long breather, you provide me the narrative justification with how it happens.
Right. So I'm leaving it open-ended. I'm leaving it collaborative here. I'm telling you what the justification is. If
Okay.
I can increase my purse because he trusts me more and is giving.
Maybe it's not so much that he's increasing your purse, it's that you are just like showing up and being like, I'm with House General, and no one's like, well, I better check on that. They're just like, he seems more confident about being with House General. I guess we better open the house books to him, take that credit line.
Makes
All
sense.
right. I increased my resources then from 3 to 4, and then my health therefore from 7 to 8.
Yeah, you're living better now.
I forgot to add.
And technically your health can be a lot higher than that if you were burning pewter, right? So
That's true.
you could
So,
theoretically like burst your health up very quickly.
I mean, if I need that health, I've probably made a grim mistake.
I mean, you're probably in a combat fight, so I don't know that you made a mistake, unless you're a pacifist. But yeah, let's talk about you, Odalys. I think you had some interesting questions about.
I did. I'm looking up the costs of it, but I do not have enough to try to go down that path just now. I only have 4 advancements because I actually managed to spend most of my advancements last time.
Yeah, you increased your powers by a lot last time.
Yeah, because it turns out that I could increase, if I was increasing power, I can increase multiple powers and have it only count as 1 increase. And I was like, oh, well, in that case,
That changes
I
everything.
threw a bunch of stuff.
Are you advancing this time then?
I think I'm not. I think I'm in a hold off because I have 4, which I could use to gain a new trait. And that's pretty much it. So,
Okay. So what you're saying is that you're the only character on the show that needs advancements, right? Hashtag rock the vote.
Boo.
It's 1. It doesn't make a difference.
Oh,
It does.
It adds up.
does.
It adds
Oh,
up.
It does.
1 vote does not make a difference.
One
No, I mean,
advancement's
one
pretty
just-
significant here. I know it doesn't feel that way when you have 16, but when you have 2 and you need 5, it
No,
does.
SciFri _ is just living off of those glory days when you got double speed advancements.
Mhm.
That's
At
true.
some
So
point,
is everyone except for Diedrich.
Yeah.
point, he's gonna run out of advancements and be
Well,
like,
all
"Oh
I'm
no!"
saying is I went on a big win streak like the first 4 weeks with the polls, and I need to run it back.
I mean, have you taken anything and not given anything back?
I have.
I mean, I've taken my father's respect, but then I gave respect back to Evelyn. So I definitely am not a pirate.
You still have a chance to recover, though. Is there anything else you guys want to do with the long breather besides have? I want to have a scene with Valette, definitely, but I believe Diedrich wanted to have a scene where he dropped an info bomb to help you guys
so
plan.
Basically, after the whole, I don't know how we shook out the rest of that day with my father having come onto the grounds without.
You
Odalys.
tell me.
This scene happens at the end of that day. So if anybody has a particular thing that they think should happen before that happens,
I'm assuming maybe he just like forced himself into like let's walk around the house while we talk kind of thing. Like he just like did a check himself since Chadwick just kind of ran away, and like basically like looked around until he felt comfortable enough with himself. Is what I assume happened. If anyone else has any sort of,
Let's say
I
that Vyse
know-
spent the rest of the day secluding himself in the library.
Is that
I
an
know
innuendo?
that Odalys would have gone to change before attempting to
His
entertain
voice is not in a talking
him.
mood after his trust was betrayed.
and possibly would have asked him, given the circumstances, to call again another time.
Okay.
So
Basically, Odalys would think that before Diedrich has a chance to drop the info bomb, Odalys thinks that he's there for her. And no other possible explanation crosses her mind because she's fairly egotistical. And so basically she would be like, I'm so sorry after the run-in with Chadwick. I'm not feeling up to company right now. And as an attempt to kind of dismiss him.
Okay. Yeah.
is he dismissed, Arthur?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, then in that
Because-
case,
Yeah.
Diedrich will come up to Odalys basically a little while after his father leaves. He will come to Odalys and say, I need to talk to you, Valette and Vyse, in our secret, private, no one can overhear us room.
She just nods and says, like, fine. Give me a moment to change. I'm afraid that the day has not been kind to me.
All right, so I go and wait in the secret, no one can hear us room.
What?
Do
What
we
is
have,
this
like, a
room again?
Scooby-Doo
I'm not sure I
bookcase that
remember this
turns
room.
around?
that was our meeting room.
Okay.
Like, I thought we established because like shit, I forgot our head servant's name.
Yeah.
Gare. Because like even Gare had to like come in to like speak like it was like kind of, I don't know if it's like soundproof, but it was like fairly secluded at least.
Seemed
Yeah.
like it was like a second story thing because I climbed up to a window to
Yeah.
get there, and also like it was sort of off on its own.
It
So
has a window, but like when our grounds are secure, and assuming there's no intruders on our grounds, it's the most secluded place.
and also
you can be.
because lasers haven't been invented yet, they can't point a laser at the window to hear the sound.
No laser mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back on point. Let's have this discussion.
So
On
Diedrich
point on Brian
is
Nato.
like first one in the room, basically, and waits for everyone else to show up.
Did you tell everyone else to show up?
I told you that I need to speak with everybody, assuming that you would, head of household, like call a meeting, I guess.
She assumes that she told you she was busy getting changed, that you were
Family
going
meeting.
to call everyone else to the meeting. And so it's just going to be
So it's just the two of you show up there.
And, like,
Uh,
15 minutes later, after she gets a chance to change, because it takes forever to change because
Of course.
petticoats and whatever.
All right, well then you show up and not the others. I'm like, so when are the others coming? And you're like, well, you should have gone and tell them. I'm like, oh, I'll go do that
Gare's
now.
like bringing sandwiches in. And is like, do either of you require more refreshment?
Yeah, could you please have Vyse and Valette be brought into the room?
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
Should I bring refreshment for them as well?
You might as well.
Excellent. So he shuffles off. Maybe it's an odd 5 minutes of Diedrich and Odalys staring at each other. Vyse, Valette, are you coming when Gare shows up and is like,
Yeah.
your
Valette,
presence is requested immediately
So
in the
it-
chamber.
In the
course,
5
okay.
minutes when Odalys and Diedrich are there, I imagine there's like this sort of awkward silence and like a ticking grandfather clock. And then at one point you're just like, So it was a really good move you pulled there with Chadwick. Really thought on your feet.
Your brother is insufferable.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to fucking fuck that guy.
Wow, sibling incest is a big deal in this campaign.
I was unaware that was on the table.
No, I meant it like the screw over fuck, not the. I mean,
Digging yourself a hole here, Wreckage.
Diedrich is digging himself a hole.
I meant what I said.
And then,
Whatever-
hello. Wow, it's really awkward in here.
Time.
That, yes, finally.
Like
Apparently,
Vyse would
that's
deliberately
something to
arrive
us.
after everyone else.
So I want to suggest something. In Battlestar Galactica, you may have noticed that there, like, every episode has a secret meeting with just, I don't know, like, is it the Cylons? Is it like the Rebellion? Is it like the Command Console? But there's always like really dramatic music, and someone closes a door. And I feel like Gare is like putting a tray of sandwiches on the table and closes the door, and the music gets really loud. And there's like a fucking guitar solo, electric guitar, and then it
We're
like,
doing Battlestar. I want to be Starbuck.
and then it just becomes like a drum line as we wait to see what Diedrich has to say.
Can I be Star Fox?
Can't be Star Fox. You can be Star Wolf.
But then Hayden will have to come in.
He's a bad guy though.
Is he a bad guy? I think he's a great guy.
We're talking about the depth of a villain that has no depth.
You'll be seeing your dad soon, Fox.
Anyway,
He's just a palette shifted Star Fox. I mean, come on.
He's got a cool eye patch.
He's a wolf. He's a completely different animal. Thank you very much.
So Diedrich,
Hayden's better. Anyways,
so Diedrich is the one to. You can just tell me to move and not have to resize my. Anyway, Diedrich is like, so about what happened today with my dad and my brother. That was some sort of test of my loyalty?
Your loyalty to who?
To him. He wanted to see if I would let him into your house as a test of my loyalty to him. He said he was bringing a contingent of men, and the idea was he would be searching the grounds for all of your plans against his, schematics and well-documented, written-up things. I already told Vyse and Valette about this in order to get the gate open in the first place. My father obviously is suspicious of a noble house being in the north for an extended period of time, believes that you will make some move against him, and apparently is making some moves himself and wants to know whether or not he can count on me. And the test was to open the gates when I was told that there would be an army there.
I see. But you trusted him to, if he had an army, not use it against us once inside?
Well, I believed his original story, which was that he would look around for your plans to screw him over, not find anything, because I know you guys don't write anything down. And as I discussed with Valette and Vyse, that would actually embarrass him and make him owe us a favor. So it seemed like a win-win, with nothing on the line, really, for House Martell, because, as I said, you don't have any incriminating evidence here.
Good, and then I'm glad that I had a chance to embarrass your brother.
Yeah, it was great. It really worked out today, guys.
yeah, that was good. That was funny.
I'm gonna go. I can talk a little bit more about some of the things that are happening. I'm gonna go apologize to Evelyn about that line earlier. I don't feel good about that. I think we're gonna have a little bit of a chat.
We have a flash forward to her punching you in the face, and then we cut back to the present.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, have fun.
But
Yeah,
yeah, by the way, Valette, that medal you swiped for me.
Oh yeah,
They're putting it in their canes. I don't know why. I don't
Really?
actually. He didn't trust me enough to tell me anything about that.
What is it?
But that seems like a bad idea. I did point it out. I said that's a bad idea, and he sort of inferred that for some reason it was not a bad idea. So I'm guessing that it's a metal that a Mistborn can't push or pull.
I mean, unless they're stupid.
So can I like do a knowledge history check with my copper mine?
That's not a thing that
See
exists in
if
this
I
game.
have ever is there knowledge of this metal somewhere in my copper mine?
Can I open my brain to the
rumors
maelstrom?
of a metal that cannot be pushed or pulled?
I will
Kelsa knows
offer
what
you
this
two
is,
different options here. Okay?
Mhm.
You can have had a conversation with someone about it with a spirit roll. Or it's going to be an extremely difficult copper roll.
I don't like the implications of
Random
the
chance.
spirit rule is riskier because it means that I spoke to someone about this and
But
the
you
fact that I
had
know about it
training
is out
as a
there.
keeper. So it would have happened, during that time.
Oh, so this was like before.
Yeah, this would have been a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
In a galaxy
Yeah.
quite close to where you're at, literally in the same city.
Well, if I'm rolling copper though, how does rolling copper work to remember a thing?
That's a good
Can I
question. Let's find out.
10 dice for that? Because 10 dice for making a hard copper roll may be better than 3 dice to make a easier spirit roll.
Ferrochemical copper. You store a memory. Each charge represents one useful piece of important information or a learned trait. Memory does not reset when the process is complete. You must re-tap it, or it will be gone forever. For each charge you tap, you regain one lost or stored piece of information or trait, recalling it with perfect clarity. Tap multiple charges. For 10, you can recall an hour with perfect clarity. For 20, a day. For 30, a week. For 40, a month. And for 50, a year. So, let's see. For every 2 charges you add, you gain 1 die that can be used to any pool for a task related to or supported by the regained memory or trait. So maybe it's a spirit roll, and you can call up memories to support that. So for every 2 charges, you'll gain an additional die towards that spirit roll to randomly remember the correct... Because this is just going to be like a one-line throwaway thing where someone's like, oh, that metal. That, if it was commonly known, you would know it right now. So it's definitely a thing that is not commonly known.
I should have asked you about any odd medals that what's his face was wearing, and if I remembered any of those.
That would have been good at the time. Yeah.
Looking at I remembered that like how long after we finished that. Anyway, yeah. So I can pull 2 coppers.
We'll give you a bonus
per
die. Yep.
So can I stack that and?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so my spirit is 3, and I want to know this fact. So I will spend. I'll tap. I need 14 copper to bring me to 10. I don't think any of my skills my traits would come into play here. So.
Yeah, just trying to remember a thing. It's kind of hard to, unless it's a metal that is poisonous to people.
So you set the difficulty on this. Difficulty 5 is definitive and exact. So if you chose to do a difficulty 5 spirit roll, you would be like, what is this metal? And if you succeeded, I would be like, this is the name of that metal, and this is what you know about it. Each step down will give you less accurate information. So, for instance, 1 would be limited. So whereas you could say, what is this person's next move as an exact thing, a limited version of that would be like, is this person acting strangely? So you let me know how difficult you want something to be. 3 is enlightening, which would be, I think in the general area you're looking for.
Yeah, I was thinking about making it a 4.
Okay, revealing or specific.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, I think that's what I need. So let's go.
let's go. Indeed.
Maybe
many
you remember
dice are we
looking
throwing?
over something because you're so tall.
No.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
I get the 10 dice either way. It's just how much copper I had to spend to do it.
you aim for a 4.
I did it, and I
yeah.
got it. I did it, and I got it.
So
Nice.
let's see here.
All those ones.
Never didn't have it.
I think there's a discussion with your father as a child, and you keep calling up more and more source memories about it, like from different angles. He's talking with someone, and you see the man is a canton of resources, and your dad's much younger, still wearing Inquisition clothing. His eye tattoos are not as extensive as they are currently. He's maybe a little less confident, definitely a lot more physically fit.
Mm-hmm.
And the man says to your father, like, well, Damworth, we have to keep mining that. You can't find it anywhere but here in Terrace. And Damworth is like, shh, my daughter's in the next room. Keep your voice down. Who knows what she could hear?
She's a child.
I know how rare it is. You can't get it anywhere else. The Lord Ruler is expecting regular shipments of it. That's what you get.
I'm going to write it all on this piece of paper and leave it on this table. Let us go into the other room.
No, this isn't Metal Gear, okay?
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll say I think I have a memory of this metal from when I was a child. Something about it is very rare, and it's only found here in Terrace. It seems the Lord Ruler was keen to get many shipments of it. I'm not certain what it does, but it's definitely important.
Well, my father certainly has enough of it to spare. That might be why he's testing my loyalty.
Yeah.
This might be the windfall that he needed to make his move. The thing is, the only move that my father is interested in is a move that gets House General in control of the breeding program. And I don't know what kind of move that would be.
I mean, there's only a few things you can do with a bunch of swords and weapons.
Take on the Canton of Inquisition?
That seems like a bold choice. But if your father manages to get himself installed as the head of the breeding program, then it would be only a small step to have you put next in line above Chadwick. All we have to do is defame your brother a little bit.
Well, that's a steep hill to climb.
Seems easy enough to cause trouble on his own.
I mean, I'm certainly. I think Odalys, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but I feel like you have a little bit of a closer connection. My father apparently isn't all that suspicious about House Martell after all, which means that he's probably fairly open to House Martell in general need not be enemies. You could put yourself in a pretty nice position of power just by continuing to suck up to him. Not that it's a pleasant thought for me either, mind you. I know what a bastard he can be.
It's been a while since I felt appreciated in such a way that your father has been appreciating me. But that does not mean that I am willing to overlook all of his flaws.
I mean, it would just be for your own power, of course. Just a thought. I mean, we can feel out things as things progress. Obviously, my father's going to make some kind of move. And rather than me telling you clandestinely, if House Martell was closer to House General, he may include you himself. It's a possibility. Certainly make it a lot easier for all of you to ride whatever ambition has gotten into his head all the way to the top, or be distant enough from it that you don't get taken down when it fails.
The problem is that I don't trust your father. And I do not have confidence in that he would not try to rein me in. I don't appreciate being in the second. I run House Martell for a reason.
I understand. I just thought I would clarify all of our options here. I want you to know that the idea that I would ever be chosen over Chadwick, well, technically, my father isn't even in power yet. My grandmother is still in power.
Your grandmother seems like quite a sweet woman, but she also does not strike me as being overly ambitious.
Not particularly ambitious and not particularly aware. My father is ostensibly not in control of House General, but he might as well be with how little Grandmama involves herself with what he's doing with House resources and really with politics in general.
I see. I'll keep your suggestion under advisement.
Yes, of course. And we can continue to reappraise the situation as things develop, as I said. But now I'm going to go apologize to Evelyn unless there's anything else.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. I'm curious how long you want this long breather to be.
Until the next thing happens?
Okay. You want it to be 3 months long.
I
Probably
mean,
not 3 months.
Do
Maybe
you
like
want to participate in the event? Or do you want it to be happening while you're doing your plotting?
a few weeks.
I mean, it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody else, but it sounds to me like after that little meeting, House Martell is in a position where we are waiting to react to the next change. So now
we're waiting on word from the resistance because they said they'd be in touch.
Yeah, so we could hear something that qualifies as that. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the next world event, so to speak.
We could
Well,
just
the
wait.
resistance
and
is gonna
recoup
move in
our
3 months.
losses. We just recoup our losses until the messenger from the resistance turns
I don't know if we want to wait 3 months.
Do we want to do a smaller gig to try to up our rep in the meantime?
I think the only thing that we have to do if the resistance doesn't get back to us is to interact with House General and make the Mattel General connection stronger, but we aren't particularly jazzed about that, right?
Right.
So it would take something.
Well, I mean, we have
Stopping
other
us.
options. I mean, they're trying to get. Let's lay out everything here. If we're going to make a new plan, we can do whatever we want. And I mean, we're here now and everything, but we don't have to stay here.
Also
So
true.
if interacting with House General seems like our only option of stuff to do while up here in the north, then perhaps
I want to point out one of your
Kill
original
Rogue.
plans was to undermine the Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
How does one undermine the Inquisition?
Well, I mean, you could Kelsier them.
Aren't all Inquisitors already out of the city?
Remember that the Inquisition is not just Inquisitors. It has a
It's
lot of
the
obligators.
formal structure, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say Kelsier them, what specifically are you referencing?
Murdering them.
Oh, kill all the well.
Yes.
that-
Well,
I
That'd be
mean,
great.
the other way to Kelser then
definitely on the table.
would be
That'd be
to
great
like
if we had the
put
hero
them
that
against
help
each
us
other.
out, but
No, it's not on the table. It's on a table like 4 tables down.
You could set up like business deals. You could back them into a corner with the other cantons, where they would be in an inferior position, undermining them politically, economically, socially,
I like the idea of
murderly.
business deal because we need to get money to build up our house again.
Mm-hmm.
We need, yeah. You know what? Let's just cut to that. We need money. How to get money, Plaus?
Adium? You guys gonna try to
How to get adium, please?
acquire adium? Is that the plan?
I
One second.
mean,
I got
think the
this.
plan is
How
get
to
Either
get
adium
ATM.
or boxings, depends.
how to have a stronger house, please.
Okay, so money is the plan now.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to the original question.
It sounds like we have 3 months before the next thing happens.
I mean, if you wanted to move that up, it can definitely happen at the end of the current plan. But the question is, how far into the future do you want to take this?
I
I
feel
would
like
say-
It
I
has
don't
to
wanna
be at least
wait
a day
3
and less
months.
than a year.
I would say we our next plan takes place like 2 weeks later, like
Okay.
after the entire city has qual.
Yeah, once things calm down, like back to normal.
yeah, how long does it take for calm down? That's when we
Yeah.
do a thing.
How long do
Pretty
we
quick.
spend-
Less
Yeah.
than a few days. Terrace people are unsurprisingly quick to fall in line.
All right,
Maybe
so
just
it's
a week.
maybe like a week and a half later. all
When
the-
when I say
been
terrorist
off
people
the-
rioting, I'm not talking like soccer stadium on fire rioting. I'm talking like maybe they stand in the street and talk for 2 or 3 minutes
Right, but
longer
it's
than
Yeah,
normal.
I remember the description
Yeah.
of their
Yeah,
rioting.
the rioting
Like
is
all
like,
the,
my
We
goodness,
disagree
do you
with the
see
current
what's
course of
happening right
action.
now?
I remember stopping an old lady from being killed from her passive resistance.
But yeah, it was
That's
like so.
why
Basically,
player
what I'm
members get to
picturing
reap
is like
loyalties.
a return to basically normalcy. All the
Yeah.
markers have been scratched off the walls. The guards
There's-
are back to their normal numbers. The
There's
mercenaries.
not like a big important curfew that's like, what the hell are you doing out past 3?
Yeah,
I mean, so
exactly.
there's still the curfew, right? But there's not like, it's not disruptive. People have
Okay.
adjusted. Okay, so with that
days
in
later,
mind,
then.
with there being 2 weeks, I want to have a scene with Valette, and then we're going to do the scheme worksheet and plan of action, and we really need to do these ones quickly. In the past, we have not been fast on
It's
those.
hard to do these quickly, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, Valette. Oh, Valette.
All right.
You're having another dream sequence with your dear old dad at the table for breakfast, and your dad's just like, Valette. Metals are power, Valette. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Broken record.
You've been giving away metals, Valette. You disappoint me. You need to
I mean-
stay close to Diedrich.
I gave the medals to him so he
No.
could make us powerful.
Metals are power, Valette.
I can only use one of them.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Valette, what if you could use more than one metal?
I can't.
But what if you could, Valette?
Well, yeah, but what if I could fly?
What if you could see faster? See farther? Hear more?
I can just
What if you could have the same powers that your brother has? And I think in the background, maybe of your dream, we like hear your mom like screaming as you're like murdering her.
I'm being murdered.
I mean, we would technically also hear
Really?
Valette freaking out.
Yeah,
Oh.
like it's like it's happening in another room, and your
Right.
dad's just like
Yeah,
sitting
it's so,
at the
yeah,
table,
it's
like,
totally a weird dream sequence where like
you don't
we're
want
in
that
this
to
room,
happen, do you?
and I'm also in the other room doing the thing that's caused all of this. Yeah.
You want to protect Vyse, don't you? What if you had Vyse's powers? Couldn't you protect him better? He wouldn't need to risk himself, Valette. He does it all for you.
I know. And I do everything for him.
Good.
Let's see. I think Scarred will come into play
All right.
because like this is as a result of that. I don't want the scars to be. I'm using it almost like this is what happens when I don't do this. How do I prevent this from happening again? And that's my justification for scarred.
Let's see here. And this is still the beginning of your tragedy. So no matter what happens, the number of nudges you have drops by 1 on this.
Scarred will come into play.
All right.
Because this is as a result of that. I don't want the scars to be. I'm using it almost like this is what happens when I don't do this. How do I prevent this from happening again? And that's my justification for scarred.
Let's see here. And this is still the beginning of your tragedy. So no matter what happens, the number of nudges you have drops by 1 on this.
Awesome. Okay.
And if you end up with 0, you're going to lose a beat, which means you're going to be distracted at the beginning of your next scene.
Okay. All right. Yep. So I have 5 dice.
Come on, medals are power.
Medals are power.
All you need is a pair of 3s. Okay. All right.
Just one off.
I'm curious, do you want me to tell you the thing that happens, or do you want me to keep this secret?
Keep it a secret.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay. So yeah, I guess just how does the dream end?
Yeah, the dream is just like medals are power. Medals are power. Stay with your brother. Stay with Diedrich. Keep them all close.
Wow, the dream is collapsing.
Yeah, like you wake up.
Wow.
A train comes.
Oh yeah, you know what? Probably to keep this on brand, it's got to be the Reaper horn from Mass Effect. It's like the last thing you hear before waking up.
Wow. Yeah, and then just we hear that, and that is what we see when Valette jump just shoots out of her bed, like sweat on her face, there's a gleam of it as the moon hits her, and she just shakes her head, gets out, grabs a cloak to cover up her nightgown, and just leaves her room to go do literally anything else.
Oh, good, excellent. Let's talk about this game.
Do you and Diedrich maintain separate bedrooms here in the cottage?
Ooh, that's a good
That's
question.
a very good question.
We established earlier there were only
Thank you for
4
asking that
bedrooms.
question. It's questions like that.
All right, listen.
That make America great again. And when I'm president, questions like that will get answers.
But not now.
But not now.
But not
I guess
now.
Right.
I
Would
would
they?
say no.
Would that be I feel like if they didn't, it would have to be a thing that they explain to everyone.
No, so here's how I think it shakes down, right? Very clearly at the start of the marriage, it was purely political, right? And sort of everyone in House Martell knows that, right?
Would we be afraid of servants saying oh, they don't sleep in the same room? That's weird, right?
Well, so here's the
Really, we're gonna turn this into an episode of Downton Abbey.
so what I'm saying.
It's more like House of Cards, right?
What I'm saying is very clearly at the start of the marriage, 2 rooms would have been provided, right?
Mhm.
Like that sort of goes without saying. And
Mhm.
also very clearly, not enough has changed, even though we've started a bit of an arc, that would have changed.
Mhm.
So we definitely have 2 different rooms.
Okay. Just confirming that.
I mean, maybe they're right next to each other and share a door.
You know
or
who
something.
else had 2 different rooms? Your father and mother, Diedrich. You're becoming your father.
Also, any sitcom family from the 50s.
No, they had the same bedroom. They just had 2 separate beds.
Yeah.
2 singleton beds.
Twin beds next to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, two rooms make sense.
Okay.
Good night, honey. Click. Different beds. Weird. The 50s were weird.
All right. So
Valette leaves her room to go.
what
do
is your goal?
Something.
Money, dollar bill.
Money.
So you seek to
Power.
acquire funding for future operations.
Yep.
Okay. What is your method?
Dollar bills, y'all.
All right. So, Arthur, I want to ask a question.
Yes.
That'll modify this planning segment.
Mhm.
Is there any sort of role that I could make?
Not
to
during
have-
planning.
to have knowledge of various ways one might make money up here.
I mean, you can tell me them.
Oh.
Yeah, let's
But let's concentrate
try to do
on
this
method.
quickly. So
how do you guys go about
making
doing
I guess
this?
would making business deals with the Orthodoxy or not Orthodoxy, the Inquisition be a thing?
Yes, you could also do it with Orthodoxy or resources. They're all up here.
Okay, so I think doing something like that, like
So your plan is to get money by siphoning it from the various, maybe one canton or maybe multiple cantons.
Well, we're not like siphoning it. It's gonna.
You're
be
putting
like,
yourself in a position where you're making the better end of the deal.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's gonna be an on the books kind of business deal where it's just like, hey, we're nobles and our job is basically taking the work off your hands.
So, let me
Is-
ask you, would you consider this confidence games or would you consider this winning someone's trust?
We can't win their trust.
I mean, you can. It's just, gonna
You
take
can
work.
lie and win someone's trust.
I would say, here's what I'm going to say. I would say that, Arthur, as you've said, that I can say if there are things,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Just
Just remember I have veto power.
I'm going to propose the idea that very recently a handful of economic contracts were shifted from the control of House General to the cantons, and that interaction was tenuous enough that they could be gotten back by a noble house. Like those contracts are still kind of in limbo.
So that sounds like you're trying to win their trust. You're literally trying to put yourself above another house.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Sure.
Okay, so this is primarily going to be like a social political.
I mean, we're
Kind
not
of.
putting ourselves above another house. We're just trying to make ourselves a house again.
So my thought was,
Make
and
it-
again, this is totally vetoable, or anybody else can chime in. My thought is that whatever these contracts are, whatever they like technically are, they passed from General to the canton of cantons for whatever reason. But that deal was tenuous enough, like, oh, nobles not doing economy, the canton instead. Why exactly is that happening? Like, it's under enough scrutiny that those contracts could still be won back, and they could be won back by nobles. So it's not the canton of Canton so much that is we like gaining trust in us. Rather, we are going to demonstrate that we are more capable of filling these contracts than them to like a third party.
Yeah.
Can
Like,
you
so
turn that into a 3-word thing?
Ooh, 3-word thing.
We need a short
Just keep making
description.
their trust. That's fine.
Okay.
Win
Winning
contract.
trust is
It-
winning
it-
trust is
Win
the
contracts,
end goal.
yeah, like
Okay. What is standing in your way?
Or
Would
lack
General
of
be standing in our way, or will this kind of be like separate from them?
Okay, so you pick your opposition here, like Merchants Guild, political opponents, obligators, another crew,
I would say
a
what's
crime
standing
lord.
in our way is the
The Synod leadership is one that almost certainly could apply here.
yeah, I would say what's standing in our way is that we can't really like
Is there a section in the book that goes with more of this?
Page 414.
Gracias.
I think what's standing in our way is the fact that we aren't actually like we don't live here, so we're unestablished, like completely. We're theoretically visiting.
It's the literal opposition that you're facing.
Like the bad guys. Well, then I would say
Yes.
it's the Merchants Guild or whoever the contracts that have.
So that
whoever-
would be the Canton of Resources.
Yeah, Canton of Resources.
So you're
and
battling.
then I guess non-noble people that also would be wanting to get these contracts. So like I assume there's some sort of like Ska or Terrace like merchant society. that?
It's not going to be Ska. There's little to no Ska here. So
Okay.
you would be battling with the Canton of Resources and the local Terrace
Sure.
for control of Inquisition resources.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so
yeah,
your opposition is Terrace Merchant Guilds and Canton of Resources. Obligators. Okay, what's your way in? What possible thing do you have that'll let you kick this adventure off?
I can talk to my father.
Okay, so you have contacts in the organization that you want to get trust in. Okay, any other ways in?
Technically in the Canton of Inquisition, so
Yes, but that's what you want. You want the Inquisition to give you the contracts.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, yes. So yeah, I would talk to him.
Okay. Any other ways in?
I would say that House General used to have these contracts, so I know about them.
Knowledge of the contracts.
Knowledge of the nature of the contracts.
So this is more about seizing initiative and opportunities.
Okay.
Is there some way you
maybe
can
it's not-
leverage
maybe
that
it's not a known
as
thing, and like we have that in to be like it's like an insider secret or something like that. Like, hey, these contracts are about to go like up in the air. If we can get a head start on it.
Okay, I'll let
better
you throw
place.
down insider trading if you want to be like, so
Awesome.
Damworth, I've heard these contracts are up, and he'll be like, what contracts? And you're like, these contracts. Yes.
Cool.
What do you have to work with? Who do you have on your side? Information, relationships, and tools that you have on hand that can help your current scheme.
We have some semblance of manpower, right? We have servants.
I mean, yeah, you have you have Evelyn, you have Gare. Technically, if you want to, you can try to call upon either the Terrorist Resistance or Fiddlestone.
Yeah, I mean, if we can like, because our whole thing was trying to make them like, hey, we're nobles. If we become a better house, we can help you.
Yeah.
So if help us help you, kind of thing. So we could say like, yeah, I'll put Terrorist.
You can call upon a relationship with the Terrorist Resistance is certainly a thing you can throw down.
Yeah, okay, Terrorist Resistance.
I mean, one of these possible assets is definitely not just that you have contacts with your father, but literally maybe your father is in charge of deciding where it goes.
Nice. Yes.
Like your dad is like the highest ranking non-Inquisitor obligator left.
Uh-huh.
Father is in charge of contracts.
What don't you know?
Missing
Missing information, untrustworthy informants, Fiddlestein,
Damn,
and dubious understanding of the consequences. That one seems to come up a lot, by the
yeah,
way.
dubious like
I mean, don't we
Let's
know that
not
Fiddlestein
do
is a
that.
double triple agent?
So, I mean, you guys view him very negatively, but you need to remember that informants.
he's an informant.
He's
That's
an
what he
informant.
does.
They sell to everyone.
Yeah.
That's their job.
So dubious understanding of consequences. I would probably say the fact that some of the Inquisition doesn't like, some like us, but others don't. So like as much as we have like an in with them, we also like they're also hounding after Vyse and like we don't know we don't know as characters, but we know as players that they knew what we did up in the
Yes.
mines.
Mhm.
So we don't know that they are aware of our schemes, kind of.
We also don't know if there is any other like who all the players are, basically, like who else might be vying for these contracts.
So, yeah, you phrase these parts as a question. So, it could be like, what rival group is also vying for the contracts? You don't know who else is going for them. I mean, you know that there's resources and terrorist merchants going for it, but what if a third party steps up?
Sure.
That could be a big issue.
Okay. Yeah. So dubious understanding of consequences, the Inquisition's awareness of schemes, and what rival group is vying for contracts. Also,
Sounds
we have
good.
more what we don't know than what we want to work with. Awesome.
That's how it always happens. This is why we always fail. You got to come up with some more stuff that we have. Like,
What could go wrong?
We could waste a lot of time.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
can all
time is
end up-
potentially a thing you have a lot of in this scheme. Unless you want this to take place over like weeks and months rather than like the days that we've seen. Certainly, like contract negotiations
this
could
is
take a
definitely
while.
a long con kind of scheme.
Okay.
yeah, I agree. This is
So
gonna take-
time's not going to be an issue here so much.
So I guess it would just be like it all being for nothing. Like
Which was
Well, I'll throw
resources.
one in here. That's the so one of the ones in here is that the rebellion could fail, giving the army time to impose martial law. I'll give you the reverse of that. The rebellion could succeed, overthrowing the cantons and putting everything you're doing into uselessness.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yes.
Then we'd still
That
be
could totally
that
go
could
wrong.
Uh-oh.
that could go
but then we'd still
so
have more money.
I
in the
love it.
boat because we're helping them.
Let's see.
I mean, yes, to some extent you do want the rebellion to succeed, right? But this whole plan is to improve the standing of your house. Like,
Yeah, so we can better help the rebellion.
that's Vyse's point of view that I don't think is shared by anyone else. I think Valette is still in the. It'd be great if we could free the sky and the terrorist people.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Later, once I'm rich and famous.
Diedrich, not Derek.
But- and-
Diedrich is in the camp of actually he really does sympathize with the terrorist people, but doesn't think it's possible. So, like, he's on your side on that one, Vyse. But
Let your dreams be dreams. How did you win the vote last time?
because I didn't let my dreams be dreams in what happened last time.
I
Get
don't
smaller
think they can be
dreams.
saved.
I guess something else that could go wrong is just we don't get it. Someone else beats us to the punch.
That's kind of implied, though, right? Like,
Okay, we could someone could beat us to the punch after we call in all these favors and do all this shit to try and like get it, right? And then we wasted all of that.
someone could karaoke you. Got it.
Like,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, if you want to phrase
So,
it that
yeah,
way.
All
I
right,
guess someone,
so let
someone
me-
could be
let me
using
offer
us
this. All
as
right.
their plan.
This is what could go wrong. Two different things. The rebellion could succeed, nullifying any efforts you have of negotiating with the cantons. Second thing is, at any point, Molsier could just step in and like get them back for General. Just be like, those were our contracts. It's time for us to claim it again.
Okay, great. General can get them
And
back.
that lets us have Molsier out there like a shark. Like, when's he going to strike? Is he a Mako shark or a nursemaid? Who knows?
Okay, so then what comes next?
What the fuck are you talking?
What do you know? I mean, don't you know about Mako sharks and nursemaid sharks? Mako sharks are the baddest ass, and nursemaid sharks are the lame ones.
Okay, so what comes next is we're in a better place.
If
to
everything
work with the
succeeds
rebellion
perfectly,
slash
what do
bring our
you
house
do
back.
once you have all this money?
Yeah, well, this is basically us getting resources. So like, what comes next is we make a new plan once we have these resources.
So
When we have these resources, this puts us in a position to further help the resistance and to establish ourselves a permanent house up here.
So could
Yeah.
we say? Well, I guess
Like-
both of those work out. So rolling them into one, it's establish yourself as a permanent position through which you can help the rebellion.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what happens if everything goes perfectly according to plan, which to date it never has.
You're a monster.
All right, so then we need a plan of action.
Yes. So now down to plan of action.
I need to work on my fucking Xanatos plots.
Oh,
Like,
your Xanatos
here.
gamblets?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that I play Xanatos speed chess. So,
I mean,
Plots on
Xanatos
plots
also
on
has the
plots.
benefit of being a written villain for a show, so he kind of gets the benefit of all. Of
I
his
mean, you
plans
say
and
that, but Bill Gates, so
Wait, what?
he gets everything he wants, yo.
I mean,
That's right, Bill. Hashtag 2016.
Okay, objective one.
Gates Jobs 2016.
I guess what objective
Objective one is your number 4. What's your in? Oh, it's your cantons and the contacts in the canton and insider trading. Is your in? So
we take advantage of those. I guess it would just be expressing interest that we want the contracts, like making an official bid for them.
So objective one is what? Meet with Damworth. Meet with some random Inquisition flunky.
What do you mean?
Meet with Damworth.
Meet with Odalys' father.
I definitely want Vyse to be there. We're definitely gonna make another run at Vyse.
Meet with Odalys' father.
Poor Vyse.
I guess the next thing would be like officially making it like I want to phrase it like showing them that we can that we can handle the contracts.
Yeah, I got that. What's objective 2? You've shown that you can handle the contracts to some extent. Well,
Undermine
no,
our
objective
competitors.
1, objective 1 is showing interest. Objective 2 would be
Showing
proving you can
capability.
handle it. Yeah.
And objective 3 is undermining competition.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. All right. I think do we have any further objectives? 3 is the minimum.
I think that's pretty much what we need. I mean,
I got it.
Unless
So
we
this
need
is
to
the fill.
actually
This is the
have-
filler episode. Got it.
I mean,
It's
It's an
also
arc.
it's also going to be the beach episode, except you're in the freezing north. So instead of wearing swimsuits, you'll all just be wearing extra thick parkas.
I don't
we
think this
still
is the
like
filler
to-
episode so much as the training episode.
Of course, right.
I mean,
This
we're
is-
working to make
How are,
ourselves
we
stronger.
gonna get fan service in extra thick parkas?
I mean,
I
have you
mean,
seen all the people that like
sometimes-
May from Overwatch?
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
May is not at all sexualized.
Are you kidding?
Wrong.
Everyone's like, "Yo, I love May."
Yeah,
Sure, but it's a
I would
platonic
like
love.
right.
I don't even
You
play
have not
Overwatch
checked the
anymore.
Overwatch forums. Of this, I know.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
she can
I'm
be sexy, but
sure
she's not
they've
sexualized.
I'm sure there are people who are sick in the head that draw art that is things, but I guarantee that art is also not her normal character design.
Anyway, so undermine competition. Do we have anything else after undermine competition?
I mean, sign the
Yeah.
contract.
So seal
Oh,
the
yeah,
deal.
I guess
think.
officially get the contracts. Yeah.
Yeah. That
Is it
last
this?
scene where the Inquisitor shows up and tries to stab you and we turn it into melee combat, the outcome of which is whether or not you sign the deal.
Okay. Bam. 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Got it.
I know. It's first off, it's a new lap record, and second off, it's very
New
close
lap
to the
record.
15 minutes we're supposed to take.
It's so hard to do.
It gets easier the more you do it because you know what you're doing now, but it's still not easy.
Okay, I'm back.
It's never easy.
I mean, it's pretty easy being green screened.
Boo.
You know what?
I hope that you stub your toe.
All
If I only had a brain. Okay, so who's here in this first scene?
Okay,
It's
what's our-
Damworth Hofstetter and two like low-ranking Inquisition flunkies, both young women. Probably they've got shaved heads, but they're a lot more attractive than you'd think that Inquisition flunkies should be. And your dad's just like walking in with them. It's a little awkward. Who's
I would
there
like to
and
be
where's
here,
the meeting taking place?
But I don't know that I can necessarily justify it.
I would like to volunteer myself to be there in that scene, but I don't think I would be the main one doing the negotiations.
I guess. Yeah.
I think the entire House Martell is there. Why not?
Probably.
Yeah.
Let's say that we're
to discuss it or just be
Vice
there
the
as
ledger keeper,
house, like-
basically.
we're sort of making a showing, right? So
exactly.
I'm pretty sure my
Um,
character still keeps like the house ledger and stuff like that. Like,
I
so-
mean, do the. It's so weird, like being up here where there's no nobles, so we can't just do stuff like let's throw a thing and have them show up and then bring it up there. This is just like we have to like.
I mean, you could.
It's
if
like
this-
it's like we're going to church and like, hey, pastor, can we like talk in your office for like 5 minutes? Like
it's just good business.
it's awkward.
I mean, we
but-
could just. I mean, I could.
I'm sorry. Why was there a Pirates of the Caribbean reference? in
Because I take everything and give nothing back.
there?
That doesn't even that no.
It still doesn't make any sense.
Just
You
good
can't just talk like a
business.
pirate.
Also, he took everything, but also gave everything back. So not the best character to be invoking.
Look.
Mm.
That's bad business. This is good business.
He said good business while he was
Yeah,
crying.
would we invite him to our house or would we go meet him at his office?
I feel like there's got to be another choice there. I mean, is there like
So, I mean, the alternative choice is it could be like Vyse doing the thing he always does in organizing like a noble ball.
That's
And
true,
it's
but
just like a
really
quiet
those-
get together thing where
Are
like
those things here?
I mean, you can make it a thing
We
here.
make it a thing. We're trendsetters.
Yeah.
I don't. I guess.
I mean, like, it's gonna be a
question-
shitty ball.
Like
What's so-
it could be a small get together where you're like, I'm just gonna invite my dad, and then you jump at the the thing and be like, "Yeah, Dad, look at these cool contracts that are up. We know about them, and I want them. Give them to me. Give it to me, Dad.
I'm not.
Daddy, I want this.
Give them. Give me.
I
Give
want
me."
it now. Sorry,
Don't turn into Veruca Assault.
she's already Veruca.
I mean, yeah, I guess if we can do that, that sounds like a thing. Like we're having a small get together.
Okay.
Odalys' dad.
So maybe can it be at the Playhouse again?
Sure. Because we don't really have like a grand ballroom to host.
Sure, yeah.
So, like renting out the ballroom or the
Yeah.
playhouse.
Yeah, maybe over the few weeks we like set up for like a thing at the Playhouse and like after the show where House Martell is hosting a drinks and treats or whatever.
Yeah, so
that's
it's like a
hard.
few very low-ranking obligators with like maybe 1 or 2 bars on their tattoo are doing like background music and maybe playing like a flute or something, just so that there's enough music that you can't just easily listen into people. But it's basically just you and Damworth. You're like throwing a party for your dad.
Exactly.
and
This
his
is why it's so
two-
awkward. This is so
Yeah,
weird.
and he's like there with his 2
Not awkward if
flunkies.
Vyse does his job and like pretties up the place.
So yeah, you're all there. He sits down at the table with you, and his 2 obligator, assets both like drop giant tomes on the table, and your father's like, "Well, Odalys, I'm here.
Thank you for coming, Papa.
Yes, the play was very orthodox,
I thought you would approve.
of course. Well, since you haven't seen me in years, I'm going to assume this is about business, given that your entire family's here, including Vyse."
Is it just good business?
God damn it! Stop it! You stop it right now, mister.
Do you have a problem with my nephew, father?
Oh, he takes this as an immediate opportunity to start staring down Vyse and like, should I have a problem with you, Vyse?
Oh man.
I've been looking into some of your more recent transactions.
Transactions.
What do you know, old man?
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to care to admit to us, Vyse?
I go with the rule of thumb of never admitting anything until I'm asked. That way I don't reveal any secrets.
He did ask. He's literally asking you right now.
No, I
No,
need
specific.
specifics. Yeah,
You're not saying that in character, are you?
absolutely.
That is like one of the worst things you could ever say to someone.
It's just like it's like I have nothing to admit unless you have a.
No. That's a very bad way of phrasing that. Just say you have nothing to admit.
Yeah, I think like Odalys is just shaking her head and says, I apologize for him being so uncouth.
So
Papa, there's nothing.
Are drinks being served?
He's just a boy.
Are drinks being served?
Absolutely. they are.
Okay.
It's drinks and treats. I would assume there's some
So
sort of treat.
yeah, I think
otherwise
that
we're liars.
Damworth like takes
Punch and
a
cake.
big gulp of like some orange liquid, and just like locks onto Vyse and is just like, "Is there something you need to tell me, Vyse? Anything you'd like to admit?" And he like looks to each side of him, and both of these young women like flip open books and begin like going through papers, and he's just staring very confidently at you, like,
Okay.
I'll
so
give
Odalys-
you a chance to tell me anything that you need to. No questions asked.
I think Vyse gives Odalys the significant glance of what should I say here.
And I think she gives you back the significant glance of shut the fuck up. And she says, Papa, leave the boy alone. Please. We're here to discuss business. Now, there are certain contracts that are about to become available. And House Martell is in a position to take on these contracts.
So I think a thing is happening that happens in anime where he's getting into a staring contest with Vyse, and we can hear you talking, but the sound is getting lower and lower.
Yeah,
and there's
yeah. And there's like the music rising. in the
it's like the
background.
Kill Bill music in the background that's rising. And he's gonna do a stare down with Vyse again, using willpower on willpower, unless you have some other way you want to defend from his questioning. Since you're literally saying nothing.
I'm gonna deflect his questioning, and I'm like,
I mean, you said that you're saying nothing.
Is this noticeable?
Yes.
but I think I'm going to.
I trip in front of them.
Okay.
I
I mean, they're sitting at a table, so.
Oh, they are.
I was standing away
I thought this was like
Oh.
like big old like seats were like outside. Okay.
Those two are sitting at the table, and I'm standing a small distance away.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if
That's
this is
the
a
way
table,
I
I guess that
agree.
doesn't make
I mean,
sense.
you can trip in front of him, but he's
Yeah, there's
still.
space.
Okay, well, yeah, this isn't as effective. The image in my head was entirely different than what was actually going on.
But I mean,
um,
no matter what's happening, it's not like breaking eye contact with him is going to stop the horrible interrogation that's about to happen.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Vyse, is there something you want to say to turn this away from it being a willpower test?
Yeah,
And
I'll
deflect
just
it.
I'll look him in the eye. I'll like lock gazes with him. Little bolt of lightning could like shoot between our eyes.
That still sounds like willpower for now.
Well, I just like for someone who claims to have nothing to hide himself, you seem awfully on the offensive.
What?
Oh, okay.
Are you sure your judgment isn't clouded by an ulterior motive?
Okay. I will. That sounds like wits to me. You're trying to
Yeah.
open up a debate.
this is a big gamble.
All right, so
It is
he's
a
gonna
big
call. I mean, he wasn't gonna have this before, but you've literally called on unquestionable authority now.
Yeah.
Good job.
He's
Good
also
job.
gonna take people or playthings and bump himself up
So
to a
you're
7.
in a desperate position with limited effect.
Oh, of course, we're bladesing now.
I got so much blades on my brain. It's terrible.
I never get to play
I'm going
Blades.
to call on Sense of Danger and Apprentice.
Yeah. I guess we've established that apprentice is like a political thing for you. So yeah.
It's my like.
You're like, are you
Apprentice
sure there
means
isn't
basically
something
I'm-
you're hiding? And he's like, well played.
Yeah, he's like, well, maybe you're the one hiding something if you're like badgering me this hard.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Get wrecked, dude.
Air Force.
Air Force with 3 nudges. Big money.
Okay, so you can spend all 3 of those nudges to take another action really quick, which you won't be able to defend against.
Yeah, that sounds real good. What are my options for actions though?
I mean, if you want to counterstrike this and like drive this back and put the question on him, be like, is there something you need to be hiding? Like maybe implying, because you know about his daughter, right? Like you could make
Yeah.
some sort of like veiled threat, like if you come at me, old man, I'm gonna reveal about your daughter being a terrorist woman, and then
Yeah,
you're fucked.
Just finding a good way to veil that threat.
Why veil it?
Because there's 2 obligators at the
Yeah,
table.
because there's 2 obligators there, and I'll be like, I know your daughter's a keeper.
Yeah, that will go over terribly.
That'll never backfire on us at all, either.
Well, just gotta murder everybody in the room. It's
There's
fine.
2 obligators with stone tablets at the ready. Like,
No, they have just paper right
oh,
now.
all right.
They're going through paper.
Well, you can't control paper with
Yeah.
Allomancy.
Maybe you could frame it like it's a shame you're trying to detract away from the business dealings or something like that. Like I would expect more from an
I think I'll
obligator.
go like on the full like Phoenix Wright objection offense.
Objection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just be like, what's his name again?
Damworth Hofstetter.
Danworth Hofstad. Can you
Something along the
spell
lines
that
of,
out like his last name?
the people who are the most
HO
paranoid are the ones who have.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's
something
Hofquarter.
behind themselves.
Hofcorn.
There you go, Hofquarter.
Popcorn?
You're really going to talk about paranoia to the Inquisition?
That's not what his name was.
Yeah, it's
Paranoia.
Damworth Hofquarter.
Anyone with popcorn?
Off quarter.
Paranoia. Okay, I consult my friend, the friend computer.
No. So are you harassing him?
I think what it happens is like that. There's that like pause, and then it's obvious the conversation shifts because I took a beat to like Vyse going on the offensive.
Okay.
And he's like, you've been badgering me almost from the moment you arrived here, Lord Hofcarter. How are you sure that you don't have something to hide? Some secret that you're so afraid of getting out that you're trying to distract these obligators' attention towards me?
Okay.
Jeez. Fucking go hard.
Yeah.
That sounds like a wits roll.
He can't defend against it,
And
so
it's
why not go
undefended,
hard?
so all you need is one pair.
46. I'm going to use sense of danger.
There's no danger here because you're striking with no
There's
sense of...
the obligators.
There's no sense of counterattack, though. You're
that's
completely
true.
in the position of dominance here.
Can I use apprentice though?
Yes.
All right, so if that's 5 dice, I need 1 pair.
Can he use soft spoken to really like underscore the threat of like I don't even have to be
Normally that would be a
Phrase that
thing, but
very
he literally
soft-spoken.
played it off as confident Vyse right there. He was like,
No.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think the point is that everyone knows he's soft-spoken, so you can call on it to be like,
yeah,
this
that's an interesting spin to put it. Like
Like-
no Vyse is normally soft.
I don't know that calling upon a trait for an extra die because you're
No.
not using a trait is the thing
Definitely
that you
not.
can do.
But I will have to spend some advancement on changing some traits around to go with character development.
You're just gonna change soft-spoken to confident, and then all of a sudden your character's unbeatable. You're literally going to every fight with a butter knife and win. You're just
Alright,
like,
here
oh,
comes
look,
the roll.
terrified.
Damn.
Terrified.
All right, you get to apply 5 complications to him.
wow.
So
All
I
of
think he
those
definitely is
complications
like
Not
sweating
how
when
he
you
loves
say
his
that.
daughter and
and
wants
his-
to help her.
He's not making eye contact with either of the obligators
So-
next to him. When you're like, "Do you have something to hide?" He's like, I'm gonna do the Vyse thing and not answer that question.
Yeah.
So like it's been 2 weeks. What do complications do?
Well, it turns out we have a nice little complications button right here.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see. Applications are
you can spend 3 to put it on his whole group, so like all obligators.
Oh, please do.
Oh, that
All
might
obligators, because
Yeah,
because we're going to be
complications
doing
are
a
bad.
lot of
be
stuff.
good. Wait, when does
Remember,
the-
that's for like a scene or series of scenes, so that could be useful.
I'm like when does a
Oh, it doesn't
complication
last very
turn
long.
into a burden though?
It never does. Complications can't become burdens.
Burdens happen when you do a
Burdens
set amount
are
of
from
damage.
damage that you take.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So
I would
if
say
I'm-
losing some die would be pretty useful too, since we're about
Yeah,
to.
I mean,
Top of him.
you basically can, if you wanted to, you could force him to lose 5 die in something if you were super
All of his
dick.
wits. Take away all of his wits.
You could, I mean, if you wanted to like leave him witless for
Oh,
exactly
when
one
you
roll,
do
you could
a
definitely wreck him
solution,
real
if I
quick.
reduced it to 0.
It's not going to go to 0 because he has more than 5 wits.
All right.
But you could drop it
Um,
down to a certain number, which would
Yeah.
easily leave it very easy for Odalys to, manipulate him.
Well, then wouldn't he take things from losing like half of his? Or is
That's
that just-
that's only damage.
It's not damage.
It's not
and this
damage.
isn't damage.
You're just causing him to lose dice for
right.
his next
Okay,
roll.
I'm getting damage confused with debuffs.
Yes.
You're
You're about to debuff him. If you want to stick 5 wits losses on him and basically make him like,
Well, I can spend 3 to do
Now-
one to
now,
all
hold
the
on a
others
second.
and
Can
then
I
2
just-
on him.
Can I just point something out? He would be much more useful to us with his dice pools intact and
Yeah.
complications that make him want to help us.
Yeah, I think my best plan of action is using 3 to put a complication on all the obligators, and then another 2 to put complications on Damworth.
Okay, so what is the one you want to apply to all obligators in this scene?
Remember, those only last for scenes, so you may not want to do that because it won't last the entire current
I mean,
mission.
this whole like meeting in the theater is the scene, right?
Yes.
Like, and we still haven't had any like discussion yet, so it's
I mean, you could do something along the lines of like maybe we could skip ahead a goal, and this could really prove how hardcore House Mattel is. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like impressed with House Martell.
Yeah, that's the complication I'll throw in the avocado. Impressed with House Martell.
Okay, all right. So like both of the
they're like-
obligators are like,
yeah, the
whoa.
obligators are like, hey, maybe they're not so bad.
They're both like, both of the obligators are nodding like, someone just stood up to an inquisitor. We're obviously gonna have to slap this Vyse kid down, but he's got moxie.
Yeah, it's like, I like Moxie.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to crush him underneath the iron heel of the Inquisition, but you know, it's impressive.
Yeah.
You have two more.
Two more that I'm gonna put on Damworth. I guess one of them is going to be open to business.
Okay, you'd like
Ready
him
to
to be more
deal or
open to
something
business
like that.
dealings. Sure.
Yeah. So he's willing to make a deal. And
Let's make a deal.
I guess the other complication would be he's cautious of what he's saying.
Cool.
Okay.
He's,
All right. So
yeah.
that's him and Vyse facing down, where he comes out the very bad end of that conversation. He was expecting to easily win that, like he had been, and we see some
and he's like,
character
he
growth
didn't
where
expect
Vyse is
that-
just like
he didn't
wrecking
expect
him.
that I upped my physique by 2 since last we've met.
Your physique is stronger, and therefore you're more confident.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the next step here. He's taken aback and is on the defensive. Odalys, I think, yeah, you were like talking to him, and he's like, I'm sorry, Odalys. Is there... What were you saying? Buckets of sweat dripping off him.
Vyse walks away, he does the Batman cape thing with his cloak, where it like swooshes behind him as he turns.
Jesus, what an asshole now.
Papa, I was suggesting that you consider House Martell to take over these contracts.
Don't you believe that would be a little inappropriate to just hand them to my daughter? Especially after you were chased out of the south?
It's
Are you
nothing
sure that a
bad
house
about
that doesn't even have its own keep here can truly be trusted in order to handle business?
I'm afraid it takes money to make money, Papa. In order to establish our keep, we would need to have a steady flow of income, such as these contracts.
Oh, has there been enough to, like, wedge open here?
He's ready to do
Have
it.
we described what these contracts are? I think it's now time for Diedrich maybe to step in and be like, this is what the contracts are. Right?
So
I'm operating at disadvantage because I don't even know what these are for.
So the North is not part of the sort of cultural empire, but it seems to be very important to the economics of the empire. It produces terrorist servants. It apparently mines some very important metals, and there is a lot of infrastructure that goes with that.
Yeah, so it's like overseeing that or something like that.
Especially because you can't transport easily. You can't transport things easily with canals. So that there is probably layers of economics happening here, where not only is transportation a factor, but also maintaining infrastructure up here. The breeding program is a very complex thing that needs probably a great deal of support to keep it going. There's probably things like keeping roads clear that exist, keeping supply lines moving.
So, yeah, you
trying
want
not
this
to
to
be
be a
super specific
transportation
here.
contract. Why don't you jump in here and say something like that? Like, we know the transportation contracts are open because...
So wait, you're suggesting that Diedrich say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the part of the plan that you were going to jump in on. This is your part of the in, is you know what the contracts are, and you know what they're for.
And you know exactly how House Martell could fulfill them. Because we totally can.
So I'll speak up and say, I know that the the contracts for keeping supply lines open to the north and the contracts for keeping the breeding program supplied are about to come up for question again. It used to be the contracts of House General, and frankly, those particular contracts are very much within the wheelhouse of House Martell. House General has gone without them for some time and wouldn't miss them. It's the perfect way to get House Martell established in the north. We're not suggesting you hand it to us. We're just suggesting that we start the process.
I see. You believe you can fulfill these contracts, Odalys?
I do. Otherwise, I would not have suggested it.
Well, let me see the paperwork then. Your supply chain that you'll be setting up.
I'm afraid you scared off our financier.
Valette?
No, of course we have that prepared.
You wanna jump in, or is this gonna be like a role that Vyse is making, not present because he, like did it in the past?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Like he already did it. We
Yeah.
have the
I
paperwork.
balanced the
But
list.
he's not there to like.
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
Valette, there's no way Valette's the money person.
All right.
it. No, this is
100%.
advice, but like I like hand forward some paperwork, but I also
But no,
like.
if I know Odalys is doing the dealing, Vyse would have definitely hooked her up with the paperwork beforehand.
Right. But I'm saying like I hand over the paperwork, but at the same time I make a subtle jab about how he needs to quit, harping on Vyse because he's a vital part of my house and my family.
Ah, yeah, I see.
Okay. This is a resources roll. And what you were attempting to do is to bid on a contract for travel, which is difficulty 4.
Who's making this?
You will be making it, and then Odalys will be presenting the outcome.
Okay. Is there any bonus dice I can throw at this roll?
Let's talk about it. Are there any bonus dice you can throw at the roll?
I feel like
Can I give
there
him
might be a circumstance die in play.
Yeah, in the same way that I almost gave Odalys a circumstance dice earlier, is there a way I can give him a circumstance dice for having previously known what those contracts entailed?
I'm gonna say no, because to even make this deal, he would have had to know what he was doing, right?
Right.
He can only make this roll because you've told him they exist.
Well, what I mean is, I'm not telling him they exist. I'm saying, and this is how House General fulfilled.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get a bonus die because this is the building block Vyse needs in order to do the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the circumstance die I was gonna grab was because Damworth is sufficiently weakened.
Yeah, you will get a die for his circumstance trait, which is gonna pull that off of him.
Yeah.
You can call on all 3 of them at once if you want to, real quick, to pull on all 3.
Do we wanna do that?
I mean,
this is
it
kind of
would be
the roll.
super embarrassing if
Roll
this roll
9 dice
failed and we
go
just
full,
had to
direct
come up with a
victory.
different plan for the next sessions.
This is
Yeah.
the roll, so it would
All
be
right, yeah.
Does his apprentice come in here because like his apprenticeship was doing the books?
Yep.
But he's got
It's true.
a lot of
So that's
We're
a fourth
spinning
one.
10 dice now.
Okay.
sweet.
You're gonna have to spend one of your resources real quick, obviously, but
Yeah, but I can still roll with the
yeah.
one thing on alt.
Yep.
Let me just put one in spent now so I don't forget.
And you'll get that back at the end of the day, so.
Nice. So yeah, we're going 10 dice on what was the difficulty?
Difficulty 4.
All right, so
He can do
You
that.
have
Very
fairly
high-
good odds on this,
we got
actually.
this. We're going for Pyrrhic victory here, over the top.
I don't know. That's a mess.
Yeah.
Paired 5s with 2 nudges. Yeah. So, I mean, your paperwork is, like, not only is it perfectly filled out, but, like, Damworth is impressed. He's, like, looking it over and is, like, looking over the paperwork and, like, peeking over towards Odalys and is just like, you say Vyse prepared these.
Yes.
This is
He has
pretty
put the head
good.
for numbers, that one.
Diedrich, you must have told him about General's hold on the area. He very specific things to say about the South Street intersection and how he's going to get around the mid-morning rush there.
I did what I could.
You've all seemed to have done your homework. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Very well. I will certainly place your name in the running for this. You've shown some capability of planning. But now you're going to have to show me the resources. You'll have 2 weeks to drum up all of the necessary contracts. Show me the men, show me the carts, whatever you need. You'll need to have it out there. The bidding will begin at the end of that 2-week period. Are we in agreement then?
Yes. Thank
Well.
you for this opportunity, Papa.
Now that I don't have to worry about you trying to trick me into anything, Odalys, I believe I'll have some more of that orange wine.
Yeah. And like we can fade out on that then.
Is that the last thing we want to do for the night?
Yeah, I mean, we're like
Okay.
10 minutes to the end time unless we want to squeeze it.
Yeah, there is something I want to do, real quick.
Sure, you don't want to make it an after credits scene?
I mean, it's not going to be an after credits scene.
Characters will return in Avengers 3.
I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative.
I think tomorrow morning I'm going to have to go watch Civil War before someone spoils that shit for me, and I put...
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
I think the like end scene is Valette
I have to
holding a
wait
tin knife.
till next time to find another informant, right?
You could now, right? Like, did you fail an informant roll this time?
Well,
It's been a
I
long
guess-
breather, so you could now. But the last scene is Valette with a tin knife. And it's like she's not even aware of what she's doing. We like see her talking to somebody, and she's like making a stabbing motion with the knife toward Vyse. And she's just like doing it toward a wall, and we get the X-ray view of like Vyse through the wall, and she's just like making a stabbing motion. And Valette's dinner companion is like, "Are you quite all right for that?"
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course.
just wanna-
Yes.
course. Yeah,
Perhaps,
like they were
perhaps
talking.
put the knife down.
Yeah.
She like lays her. So yeah, it's like the other female obligator is like laying her hand on your hand, and it's like awkward.
Like white knuckle grip just drops the knife.
Sorry, just thinking about something.
Yeah, perfect. Can't wait for Vyse to get
How
spiked.
weird metals can be sometimes.
Yeah, just want Vyse to get spiked, yo. That's all I want. That's the end of the campaign, is when Vyse is just bloodily murdered by Valette. Valette just like
Come on,
sticks the
Become
knife
powerful, Vyse.
into her shoulder and is like, "Wow, I can hear better now."
Power.
So yeah, let's talk about the end of the episode. Obviously, we'll be back next week with Alloy of Law, but I think the scheme doesn't seem like it's going to take very long. But it might be
Seems
the
like
first.
It's not impossible this time.
Yeah,
It seems like we might succeed at something.
We didn't blow ourselves over like we did in every other scheme.
Run.
It was like you were letting your dreams be easily achievable, and you're gonna make it there.
Look, all I'm saying is we took those contracts. We're
Look,
taking
I'm
them.
gonna go out on
And
a
we're
limb.
not going to give anything back.
Look, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that even though Vyse has way more advancements than he needs, he clearly was the one that, in character anyway, took everything and gave nothing back. Like I'm
I
just
say
gonna
it's
say that.
awesome between Vyse and Odalys.
Well, that vote for those of you on YouTube is in the description section. So go ahead and vote. Is it for Vyse? I don't know. Did someone
We'll
vote
have
for
to see.
Odalys? I don't know. You're just gonna have to vote and find out. Anyway, yeah, I feel like this might be a short scheme that'll set you up for picking up a couple quick advancements. Speaking of, everybody gets another 2 advancements.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
Yay, money
I
in
say
the
this
bank.
every time we have a new session of this, but I think this was the best episode yet.
Really? Okay.
That was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
All right,
like-
that's the name of the episode. The best episode yet.
yeah.
The best episode
Wow,
yet.
that's practically clickbait.
The newest
People are
episode
like-
so far.
People were like, I don't know about this Mistborn show. They've been off for 2 weeks. The best episode yet.
Well, I can't even wait to watch this.
Well, it's gonna be. Well, it's not gonna be much of an effect because it's on YouTube, so they're just gonna see episode names and then the best one. Yeah, like, oh, I guess I should just watch this one. Like,
I think the problem is that we're setting the bar too high, and then they'll walk away being
Yeah.
like, "It wasn't that good."
Yeah. It's like it was a good episode, but I wouldn't call it the
The
best.
best episode? What about the episode where they
What
got
about where
married?
Virgil got
Yeah, I was gonna
off the
say,
show?
like, no one got slapped. There was really no.
Yeah.
sex.
Diedrich got punched in the face.
Diedrich did get punched in the face. And that was pretty good.
Odalys got tripped, and then she
I mean-
made it seem like it was all what's his name's fault because
It
our
was.
pilot
That's
finale is still
solid.
up there for me.
Yeah. I feel like Vyse has changed now, where he's now more confident, but it's under control than it's supposed to be for. He's not out.
I feel a little weird with Valette because she was very much designed for the whole let's be nobles and do noble stuff, and now we're not nobles and not doing noble stuff.
We're still nobles.
You're getting close to like if this succeeds.
This is the most noble thing we've done.
Yeah, if
Well,
this succeeds,
very much more
you
of like,
could-
we're
you could
already
leverage
nobles.
this
We're not.
into
We're
buying
at the top. We didn't start from the bottom, and now we're here. We're here already. Let's do stuff.
And then we went to the bottom.
And then we fell to the bottom.
And now we're gonna go back
Right.
to here and then go to the top. I don't know.
When did
Right.
we-
Well, exactly. Like it's just weird because like and it would be weird in this position like as a person like she's used to she's used to a certain standard of living, and now they're not there anymore.
I feel like I can't name any anime where this happens, but I'm sure there's an anime where someone shows up and is like, "I'm super powerful," and then like at the end of the first episode, they're like, "You're at the bottom of the rankings. You got to work your way all the way back
so-
up to the top."
Soul
Soul
Eater,
Eater.
they never
Infinite
explain it
Eater.
where like the start of the episode is like we've actually finished. I'm actually
Oh,
done
Maka,
making
because she goes after a non-witch. Got
yeah,
it.
yeah, no, she like I'm done making a death scythe. Like that's how this whole thing opens up. I'm done. I'm finished making a
Right,
death
but you
scythe.
have to
It's-
kill a witch with it, and she killed the wrong person or tried.
right. And
Fucked
then
up.
has to go all the way back to the beginning again. And or no, it's the demon blade that
Tell
she
you
just
what, since we're
uses,
back
right?
on anime
Killing
discussion.
you. Anyway, the point
No,
is
no. No. Put the
Well,
anime in
all
the
I'm
corner.
saying, has
Go sit in the corner.
Yeah.
Go. Bad.
All right, we'll do
Thank you,
outros
Equine.
first.
I'm curious. I'm gonna go with this one, SciFri. Against my better judgment. Tell me.
What to tell you about the anime, or
Yeah,
do
tell me about the anime.
all right?
I feel like I'm gonna regret it,
I've
but
been watching Boku no Hero.
nope.
not yet.
It's I don't know. I like it. It's this weird anime about like a post of like modern future where like everyone like basically has like some sort of like superpower, but only some of them are like most of them are like mundane powers, but then there's also superheroes. And they like go to academies to become superheroes.
Oh my! Not another fucking Academy show. I can't take it. I can't
Yeah.
take another show.
And it's
with
about this like kid who doesn't have any powers, but he really wants to be a superhero. And then the like best superhero in the world is like, "Hey, I can share my superpower with you because it's like I got it from someone
Don't
else."
confuse that me.
And
I have to go to the bathroom. So can we stop doing anime and do outros?
yeah.
Yes.
Let's start with the
start
Wreckage
with
outro so he can just get up and go to the bathroom.
All right,
Wreckage,
that's a
Where can people
spectacular.
find you?
You can find me at Dr. Wreckage right there in the little window because AP Gaming Real really knows how to treat his guests. I do play and GMing on other people's channels, and in the exciting future on the horizon of tomorrow, there will be stuff happening on my own channel. So, I mean, eventually it's got to happen. Now I've got a computer that can do it. The sky's the limit. Overwatch, probably. Also, like GM prep sessions. Also, maybe my own show. You know, like I don't even know where to go. It's dizzy with possibilities. But if you want me to do a thing on your channel in either the short term or long term sort of scenario, why don't you tweet at me, and we will
Ruined.
get that stuff figured out.
Go to the bathroom.
I'm gonna go to the
Go to the
bathroom.
bathroom. Kelsa, where can people find you?
Sure. You can find me, Kelsa, and again, there's over here I don't know where my face
Yeah,
is.
no, you're putting it
Um,
correctly.
Yeah. Um, you can find me at Kelsa on Twitter. That's the best place. You can follow me on Twitter to find out when I'm going to be streaming on other people's shows, because although I am on Twitch, twitch.tv/KelsaDelphi, I don't really stream that much on my own. I tried streaming painting miniatures, but unfortunately the camera that I got for my birthday had a huge dark spot like right in the
Oh,
center.
that sucks.
And so we had to return it, and I'm super cry times. Yeah. I also have my own show.
Really like the new Hearthstone. I need any outros. Hi everybody, I'm SciFri. I stream on the internet
We should play
sometimes,
Hearthstone, so.
too much frequently, but once I get my new gaming rig, I'm gonna go hard on the streaming. Till then, I'm just probably gonna be streaming like, random like basically low end games that I can stream on my computer. I'm throwing up doing some like retro stuff, some like throwback games, stuff like that. Games you probably remember or don't remember from your childhood, because I have a couple obscure like games that I might want to pull out of the pocket and play those. So give me a follow over at twitch.tv/SciFri, SCIFRI, and twitter.com. You know what? If I
24/76, am I right?
for more than an hour, I would be streaming it 24/7.
Okay.
But yeah, I actually really like the new Hearthstone experience. I need any outros. Hi everybody, I'm SciFri. I stream on the internet
We should play
sometimes,
Hearthstone, so.
too much frequently, but once I get my new gaming rig, I'm gonna go hard on the streaming. Till then, I'm just probably gonna be streaming like, random like basically low end games that I can stream on my computer. I'm throwing up doing some like retro stuff, some like throwback games, stuff like that. Games you probably remember or don't remember from your childhood, because I have a couple obscure like games that I might want to pull out of the pocket and play those. So give me a follow over at twitch.tv/SciFri, SCIFRI, and twitter.com/SciFri, SCIFRI_.
Don't forget that underscore. It's very important.
It's very important that you include the underscore.
Hashtag
Yes.
Bernardo. Let's talk about you, Tuxtradamus.
Hey, I'm Tuxtradamus. You can find me here a lot, including Wednesdays for Star Wars, Fridays like this one for Mistborn, and Saturdays like tomorrow for Winter's Edge, which is going to be returning after a week break. And we have a lot of stuff to do in one episode, so don't miss it. It's going to be action-packed. Well, actually, you definitely shouldn't miss it, because we're going to need your help tomorrow, because we're going to be facing a bunch of zombies.
True.
And if you show up with your character in Tavern RP and say that you're helping, you get to take some of the zombies off our back and get experience and gold for your character, which is super cool. And then, besides all the stuff I do here, I do some of my own stuff. I'm going to be streaming some more. Overwatch is only in beta until the 9th, and then it comes out the 24th, so I'll be doing a little more of that. And then once it comes out, I'll be streaming more of that, doing some more video game stuff. I started today making some inquiries about a new show that I want to start doing, like RP roleplay tabletop stuff thing.
Ooh.
Didn't ask me though. Didn't ask me. It's okay.
I haven't asked you yet.
Yeah.
Jeez. You're
Shame.
jeez.
For shame.
Anyway, so that might be a thing soon. And yeah, this is super fun. I love Mistborn, and I can't wait for next week.
Okay. Well, as was said, watch Winter's Edge. It's got more Tuxtradamus with slightly less butts. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if
If
you
you
like
want more of me,
Apparently,
Tuxtradamus,
you haven't been watching the Tavern RP.
I mean,
There's
what we
quite a
put
bit of
on the
butts.
show and what happens in Tavern RP are clearly two different things.
I mean, Saltho did just do some stuff last night.
Tux apparently gets really dirty in that play-by-post. Like, fortunately, he confines it to private chat with whoever he's doing it with, multiple partners. But yeah. Anyway, let's get past that weirdness and talk about Alloy of Law next week. So stick around, try watching it, and Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have questions, comments, and concern, leave it in the comment section below on YouTube. Let us know, what you have to say about the show, how we can improve it, what you like best. I'll be looking all week. Let us know. If you want it, you can get it. And we're out.
We're out.